Most people panic when life throws challenges at them. But what if you could stay calm no matter what? What if, instead of reacting emotionally, you responded with clarity and control? The Stoics mastered this, and in the next few minutes, you're going to learn how to apply their secret to controlling your emotions, so that no matter what happens, you stay unshaken. The problem: why we lose control. Why do we lose control? It all comes down to one thing: our perception of events, not the events themselves. A great philosopher, Seneca, wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." We let emotions dictate our response. But emotions aren't the problem. Our reaction to them is. We lose control of our emotions because we let our judgments and perceptions dictate our reactions instead of rational thinking. The Stoics believe that emotions like anger, fear, and anxiety don't come from external events themselves, but from our interpretation of those events. Why we lose control. 1. We react instinctively, not rationally. When something bad happens, our first reaction is emotional: anger, frustration, fear, because our brain is wired for survival. The Stoics taught that these automatic reactions are not the problem. The problem is whether we choose to follow them. 2. We confuse external events with internal control. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." We lose control when we believe external events force us to feel a certain way. In reality, it's our interpretation of events that shapes our emotions. 3. We let desires and fears rule us. Seneca warned that excessive attachment to desires, pleasure, status, approval, or avoidance of fears, failure, criticism, discomfort, makes us slaves to emotions. When things don't go as expected, we feel out of control because we've tied our happiness to unstable factors. 4. We don't create mental space before reacting. The Stoics emphasize the power of pausing, and reflecting before responding. Instead of immediately reacting with frustration or sadness, they practice stepping back and questioning their thoughts. 5. We fail to prepare for adversity. Marcus Aurelius practiced a technique called premeditatio malorum, anticipating difficulties in advance to reduce their emotional impact. When we don't mentally prepare for challenges, we get caught off guard and lose control. By recognizing these tendencies, we can apply Stoic techniques to regain emotional control and respond with wisdom instead of impulse. So how do we break free? The answer lies in an ancient Stoic technique. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to remain calm under pressure using ancient Stoic wisdom. And I'll share one Stoic practice that instantly reduces stress, but almost nobody talks about it. The Stoic trick to control your emotions, the Stoic Pause. The key to emotional control is what I call the Stoic Pause. The moment something triggers you, stop, breathe, delay your reaction. Marcus Aurelius called it holding your mind in check. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, act with reason. If not, let it go. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics had a powerful approach to controlling emotions: reinterpretation through reason. Their key insight was that emotions don't come from events themselves, but from our nuanced interpretation of those events. By changing our perspective, we change our emotional response. The Stoic trick: cognitive distancing. One of the most effective Stoic techniques is cognitive distancing, stepping back from your immediate reaction and analyzing the situation rationally. This helps you avoid being swept away by emotions like anger, fear, or sadness. Here's how to do it. 1. Pause before reacting. Instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to acknowledge your emotion. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." 2. Ask, Is this in my control? Epictetus taught that we suffer more from our desire to control things beyond our reach. If it's not within your control, let it go. 3. Reframe the event. Instead of labeling something as bad, view it as neutral or even an opportunity for growth. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." 4. Use a third-person perspective. Pretend you're giving advice to a friend. What would you tell them? This distance helps break emotional intensity. Practice negative visualization. Imagine losing what you have, not to make yourself sad, but to develop gratitude and resilience when real challenges arise. By practicing these techniques, you gain emotional control, not by suppressing feelings, but by mastering your interpretation of them. And the power of perspective. How to regain emotional control. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. One person rages, another listens to an audiobook. Same situation, different mindset. The Stoics taught that it's not events that upset us, but our judgment of them. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Epictetus. You can reframe any challenge. Instead of, "This is a disaster," think, "This is a test of my patience." Instead of, "This is unfair," think, "This is an opportunity to grow." The Stoics believe that your perspective, not the event itself, determines your emotional response. This means that by changing how you view a situation, you can change how you feel about it. How perspective shapes emotion. 1. Events are neutral. Our judgment makes them good or bad. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been." The same event can cause different reactions in different people. Why? Because it's not the event, but our interpretation of it that creates emotions. 2. Reframing obstacles as opportunities. Instead of seeing difficulties as misfortunes, the Stoics train themselves to see them as chances to develop the courage, patience, or wisdom. Epictetus taught, "Difficulties show a person's character. So when trouble comes, remember, you are being tested." A rejection can be seen as failure or as redirection to something better. A delay can be frustrating or a chance to practice patience. 3. The view from above, seeing the bigger picture. When faced with stress, take a step back and view the situation as if you were an outsider. Marcus Aurelius often imagined himself looking down at life from above, seeing how small problems are in the grand scheme of things. This helps reduce anxiety and frustration. 4th, memento mori, remembering mortality. One of the most powerful Stoic perspectives is memento mori, reminding yourself that life is temporary. This isn't meant to be depressing. It's a way to stop sweating the small stuff and focus on what truly matters. How to apply this today? When facing a challenge, ask, "Is this really bad, or am I just perceiving it that way?" Reframe problems as opportunities for growth. Imagine how you'll view this situation a year from now. Will it still matter? Take a broader perspective. In the grand scheme of things, how significant is this? By shifting your perspective, you gain power over your emotions and stop being controlled by external events. Practical exercises to stay calm. Stoic techniques. To gain control over emotions, the Stoics practiced daily mental exercises to strengthen their ability to stay calm under pressure. Here are some key techniques you can apply today. 1. The pause and reframe technique. Before reacting emotionally, pause and ask yourself, is this really a disaster, or am I exaggerating it? How would a wise person handle this situation? Will this matter a week, month, or year from now? How to use it. The next time you feel anger, frustration, or anxiety building up, take a deep breath and give yourself a moment to reframe the situation before responding. 2nd, premeditation. Malorum, negative visualization. This practice involves mentally preparing for difficulties before they happen. Instead of fearing what could go wrong, Stoics would visualize setbacks so they wouldn't be caught off guard. How to use it. Before an important event, meeting, speech, trip, take a moment to think of possible challenges. Instead of worrying, ask, if this happens, how will I calmly handle it? This helps them reduce fear and builds emotional resilience. The view from above shifts your perspective. Marcus Aurelius used this technique to remind himself how small most problems are in the grand scheme of life. How to use it. When feeling overwhelmed, imagine yourself high above the earth. Looking down on your life, from this wider perspective, ask, how significant is this really? This helps detach from immediate emotions and gain clarity. 4. Journaling for emotional clarity. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius journaled daily to reflect on their emotions, decisions, and challenges. How to use it. At the end of each day, write, what tested my patience today? How could I have responded better? This practice increases self-awareness and helps improve emotional control over time. 5. Memento mori. Remember your mortality. One of the most powerful Stoic exercises is reflecting on the temporary nature of life. Instead of making you fearful, it helps you focus on what truly matters and prevents overreacting to small things. How to use it. When facing stress, ask, if today were my last day, would this still bother me? This perspective brings well-being on calmness and gratitude. In difficult moments. 6. Amor fati, love your fate. Instead of resisting life's challenges, the Stoics practiced accepting them fully, even embracing them as necessary for growth. How to use it. When something unexpected happens, instead of complaining, say, this is an opportunity to practice patience, strength, or wisdom. See obstacles as part of your journey, not interruptions. Final thought. Practice, not perfection. Stoicism isn't about never feeling emotions. It's about learning, not to be ruled by them. By practicing these techniques daily, you build the ability to stay calm and in control, no matter what life throws at you. Control the inner world, mastering your mind like a Stoic. The ultimate lesson of Stoicism is this: you can't control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. Every moment is a chance to choose reason over reaction, calm over chaos. The more you practice, the stronger your Stoic mind becomes. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. So next time life tests you, remember, pause, reframe, control your mind, because true power isn't in controlling events, it's in mastering yourself. The Stoics believe that true freedom comes not from controlling the external world, but from mastering the inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. As Epictetus said, you may fetter my leg, but my will, not even Zeus himself can overpower. In other words, no one and nothing can control your mind unless you allow it. Why the inner world matters. We often lose control of our emotions because we focus too much on external events, things we can't control. What other people think, unexpected setbacks, how others treat us, the past or the future. Instead, the Stoics focused on what they can control: their thoughts, their judgments, their responses, their perspective. This shift in focus protects your inner peace, no matter what happens externally. How to control your inner world. 1. Master your perception. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it, and this you have the power to change. Practice. The next time something upsets you, stop and ask, is this event truly bad, or am I just labeling it that way? How would a calm and rational person see this situation? Can I choose a more empowering perspective? 2. Separate what's in your control from what's not. One of Epictetus's core teachings was, some things are up to us and some things are not. You can't control other people's actions, but yours can control how you respond. Practice. When facing a problem, divide it into 2 categories. In my control, my attitude, my actions. Focus on this. Out of my control. Others' opinions, random events. Let it go. 3. Train yourself to pause. Seneca advised, a raging river carries away anything that falls into it, but if the current is calm, even light objects stay in place. Your mind works the same way. If you react immediately to emotions, you get swept away, but if you pause, you gain control. Practice. When you feel anger or anxiety rising, take a deep breath. Count to 5 before responding. Remind yourself, I don't have to act on this feeling. 4. Use self-talk to strengthen your mind. The way you talk to yourself determines how you feel. Instead of saying, this is terrible, the Stoics would reframe it. This is an opportunity to practice patience. I am in control of my reaction. This moment will pass. Practice. When facing a challenge, use Stoic self-talk to stay in control of your emotions. 5. Accept and adapt. Amor fati. Rather than resisting reality, the Stoics practiced amor fati, loving fate. They saw every situation, even the difficult ones, as fuel for growth. Practice. When something doesn't go your way, instead of complaining, say, this is happening for me, not to me. How can I use this to grow? Final thought, the inner fortress. Marcus Aurelius described the mind as a one fortress, a place no external force could break into unless we let it. By training yourself to control your thoughts, reactions, and judgments, you build an unshakable inner world, one that remains calm and strong no matter what happens outside of you. But there's one more Stoic habit that's even more powerful, used by warriors, leaders, and philosophers. Stick around. What's one thing that recently tested your patience? Comment below. True power comes from mastering yourself, not controlling the world. Try this today. When something annoys you, pause and ask, is this worth my peace? If this video helped, hit like and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Watch my next video on how to stop caring what others think. It's a game changer.